innocent until we're proven guilty. It's not fair that we have a system that relies on you having enough money to pay your way into freedom. I've been involved in this movement to end mass incarceration in the country for about a decade now. The work all of us did to make sure pretrial freedom was extended to more and more people, it actually paid off in improving real human beings' lives, their families' lives, and made all of our communities safer. Hello. Hello. Welcome.
Thank you.
We want to talk about what freedom feels like. We want to talk about what it means to be home with our loved ones. We want to talk about pretrial freedom, about bail reform, but personalize it.
Say good morning.
Good morning.
Pretrial freedom to me is me being able to not miss a beat on my children. Me missing time with them is very detrimental, and they really need me.
Between being able to care for my dad, being able to make sure the bills were paid, for me to be able to strategize with my lawyer. You can't do that behind bars.
The most important thing in my life right now is change. I'm just working towards getting my certifications in forklift driving, and I'm doing pretty good. I've been sober for about a year.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I've been affected by having relatives and friends in jail and in prison. My mother was incarcerated for a time. So many people are doing these things out of trauma, out of pain, out of desperation, out of poverty. Everybody's got a story like that. And so we have to decide whether we want to inflict more harm and more punishment on those people, or if we want to try to help them heal and grow.
Language is so important to changing minds. How we do that is by continuing to have this conversation using language of love, language of freedom, and language of liberation.
Every time I've been incarcerated, I come out much worse than I've ever been in. But if you're healed and you can help the next person heal, your community is going to be that much safer. Healed people healed people.
And everybody who's worried about safety, those investments in freedom actually are what going to make us safer. Investing in freedom, investing in human flourishing is what's going to make us more safe.
The world of true freedom is these conversations, whether it's in a very small town, a big town, whether it's a beautiful table or whether it's a card table, pulling people together and allowing them to listen to each other. That's freedom.
Joining me now is John Legend. Thank you so much for taking the time on your trip to New York to sit down with me.
My pleasure, Jen. It's great to see you and great to speak with you about this.
So first, I just wanted to start, this is pretty personal to you. I mean, all of the work you've done on criminal justice reform, really informing the public, storytelling. Tell me a little bit more about your personal connection and why you got involved in this work.
Well, growing up in Springfield, Ohio, I had many family members that interacted with the criminal justice system. Some of them were in prisons, some of them were in jail. My own mother had spent time in jail. And so when we talk about pretrial freedom, when we talk about reforming the way we think about punishment in our criminal legal system, it really does hit home.
You've been working on this for years now. You're not new to this issue. Why is there such a disconnect out there about this issue?
Well, the reason why we care so much about pretrial freedom is because our jails end up housing so many people, and they're not set up to make people's lives better. And what ends up happening is people who are innocent until they're proven guilty. So in our system, everybody knows that. You watch Law and Order, you watch the life and times of Donald Trump, every trial that he's a part of, you notice he's not spending time in jail before he goes to trial. He's innocent until he's proven guilty. And we all know that. But what happens with folks who can't afford bail is they have to languish in jail until their case. I think what ends up happening is we get kind of ruled by the anecdote. You know, the New York Post will run a story, or Fox News will run a story, or the local news will run a story, and they'll say this one person got out of jail on bail, and they did this crime. But the actual numbers, the actual data is resoundingly clear that folks that benefit from pretrial freedom don't go out and commit more crimes.
We just showed a clip of part of the gathering. You hosted at your own home.
We hosted at our house. We worked with a group called Zealous that kind of gathered these folks from all around the country. And we had a gathering at my house. And we wanted to really humanize the really positive effects of pretrial freedom and make sure people really understood the stories that were attached to that and the lives that were attached to that and the families that were attached to that. And so we had people come to my house and we talked about it.
And one of the things that you hear from Trump's supporters is that he signed the First Step Act in 2018. He's a partner in this effort. What do you say to people who say, "Oh no, he would be an ally. Look what he did in 2018."
He's not been an ally. I mean, I think the First Step Act was fine. It was a very kind of small reform. And to be honest, most of the reform we need is on the local and state level because most incarceration is local and state, and most of the laws that end up being criminally enforced are local and state laws. That being said, at the same time, you know, he's claiming credit for those small things. He's also saying, you know, if people are stealing something, they should get shot in the middle of the store. When we protested the killing of George Floyd, he was advocating for the military to shoot us in the streets. He's made it clear throughout his life that he believes black people are inferior. Like he believes that to his core, in his bones. He wouldn't let us live in his buildings back in the day. But also, when you hear some of the stray comments he makes, he clearly believes in a genetic hierarchy of humanity and is racially determined. So he is a tried and true, like, dyed-in-the-wool racist. Like, in the core of his being, he's a racist. So I don't want to hear what he has to say about what he's done for black people. He's done very little for us. And he is, at his core, truly, truly a racist. And you even hear what he says about immigration and which countries he wants people to come in from. They all are very white.
That is true. That's something pretty universal about them. So I knew you were active on the campaign trail in 2020. You have a lot on your plate. Are you going to be out there campaigning for Joe Biden this fall?
Yeah, we'll get out there probably later in the year as it gets close to people making decisions about when it's time to vote. I think the choice is very clear. There's a lot been said about age and all these other things. Both of them are old. But one of them is a really decent man who's done a lot to improve lives in this country, and that's Joe Biden. That's who I'm going to be voting for, and I'll be out there supporting him.
Hey everyone, MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.